Interactive Scotland is going to give you access to market intelligence and research, product and technology support, sector-specific development and partner connections.
Perhaps we need, as a culture, to develop a more sophisticated understanding of value to be derived from this sector. And I say that not as a criticism necessarily of Scotland, but rather actually it is a new emergent and engaging sector whose value chains themselves are only being innovated on, realised, understood and improved on.
There are more than 5,000 digital media and ICT companies in Scotland, and they employ between them 42,000 people, so really, really significant in terms of both the impact on employment and the supply chain. And they've got a combined turnover of over £3 billion per annum.
Where there is real potential in this sector is in innovation in the business model. It's not just about technology, in my view, because I think the technology always needs some really compelling content. And the real money is on the cusp of content and technology, I think.
The audience is already way ahead of all of us who are making this stuff. They've embraced this future. They're interacting with this through all sorts of multiple channels simultaneously. There are so many people who are sitting there with a laptop on their lap, an iPhone going in one hand while they're watching something on television and communicating with each other.
As we go forward, I think it's really important that we focus on those sectors that are going to offer most in terms of Scotland's global competitive position and advantage. But we also have to be open to opportunities out with those sectors and often between those sectors to invest in growth. So I do want Scottish enterprise to be much more opportunity-driven and respond to those biggest opportunities within Scotland to actually grow the economy.
A great example of where I think the money is going to be, is on the cusp of content and technology. You do need the skills in technology development and in content development, and they need to be together. People need to understand the limits and the possibilities in a much more integrated way than they have done so far. And when you crack that, that is where the real money is going to be.
It's just always figuring out how the technology you're using can innovate and drive these sorts of things. Because there are those of us who are very techie who love to play around with something and say, look at this video that's playing on my tiny little iPhone over my 3G network. Well, what's the program? Well, who cares? Do you see how it's moving really fast? Well, my wife cares what it is. She doesn't care how it's coming over. She doesn't care how it's getting into her device. She just wants to watch something that's really exciting, really grabs her. And that's where the innovation comes from. So drive it from what content you're trying to put forward.
For the very first time, Scottish digital media companies are going to have access to a unique support network exclusively for them, helping develop new business models, innovative content, applications, products and services. Interactive Scotland is going to give you access to market intelligence and research, product and technology support, sector-specific development and partner connections.
It's the audience and how the audience uses technology that will drive change. We've all got to react to that, particularly at the BBC where I come from. It is all about the audience and what the audience will tell us what we need to do.
I think the big change that's going to come about is moving away from the simple, what we would call linear formats or vertically integrated markets, to understanding how to deliver content products that work across multiple devices. And what I mean by that is moving away from just creating a TV program of 30 minutes to understanding that I need not just to create the TV program, but I need to create the mobile website, I need to create the blog, I need to create the community, I need to create the games console version alongside that program. Consumers expect to consume content across multiple devices now. The creative industry needs to recognise that and needs to start creating content that will respond to that.
I think one of the things that has happened recently with the iPhone and with some of the bigger web companies is that they've recognised that these services have to be usable for the consumer. And I think in Scotland we have to recognise that if we're creating new innovative solutions, they have to be customer focused. They have to be something that people can really use and use easily to reach their goals. Without that, I don't think having the technology is worthless, basically.
The big changes are going to come from things we don't immediately understand at the moment, where it's not changes to existing ways of working, it will be whole new ways of doing business, working together, people playing, and technology will surprise us that way. Things which we haven't anticipated will come out of the technologies we're creating now.
We're going to have to start talking to each other. We're going to have to accept that we're moving into the same landscape. There's a convergence of thought there. You know, we don't have to converge our skill sets, but we do have to be aware of each other and also start to sort of understand what we're all good at doing. You know, some people are brilliant storytellers, some people are brilliant sort of designers, some people are very good at sort of producing interactive experiences or producing online content or games content. And all of that's there in Scotland, and the big challenge is, one, recognising that, which hopefully something like Interactive Scotland has done, but also just getting the companies within there to sort of see each other as a sort of, you know, a community, starting to work together and appreciate what they're all about.